All right, welcome YouTubers. Week 5 NFL picks, GreatDanePicks.com. Let me start by saying welcome back. I know I only could put out a quick video last week. I kind of lost my main computer in my studio, so we'll make do. We'll make do on this, no biggie. I figured to this week, because I got a first video of the year for me, I'll go over all the picks from week 2 on. Again, I usually give out picks that will win over the next 3 weeks. And then I use a martingale scheme. And I typically skip the first week. I don't bet it at all. And then on the second week, if you're in my martingale scheme, it'll be 512 per occurrence, or times the number of bets. And then the third week would be 1239. That's all based on a $20,000 bankroll. Scale up or scale down accordingly. Of course, you'll tend to use a little bit more than the 20,000. At least I have at those type of numbers. You could scale back your bets if you can make it 341 and 826 were by normal stage 2 and stage 3. But I try to do more ROI with going with 512 and 1239. So that's my C system, or my martingale system. That's the action junkie system. It was good for 30% ROI last year by week 15. So profitable. And usually is profitable. My other 2 schemes deal with only tier 3, and those will be a multiple scheme where I'll bet 1,000 times the multiple for the game, and then I have a fixed scheme that's $2,000 on the team regardless of the multiples. So the fixed scheme did, I think, 27%, and my multiple scheme did 21% last year ROI. So good deal. Of course, I played primarily the multiple, and I put a little bit of money on the martingale. So that's where I'm at. So let me go over the weeks 2, 3, and 4, the games that I would have started they're going to win over the next 3 weeks. In other words, started 3-game martingale. That's what I'd basically be doing. So Arizona in week 2, they won. So right away on stage 1, they won. Week 3, it was Los Angeles Rams. They've lost twice, so they are on the third multiple. Washington lost and then pushed last week. So with a push, I count the money as just a push, but I'll treat it as a loss when I go forward to pick them again. Now, unfortunately, this week, that means there would have been LA Rams and Washington in head-to-head. Well, they would have been in stage 3, so I would have picked them across all 3 systems. But unfortunately, since they're playing each other, they negate each other out, and since they're 1x each, there's no reason to bet either side. You don't feel like losing the vig for it, so that's going to end up canceling each other out for this week. And I'll lose a little bit of money on each of those, just not as much, because it is what it is. San Francisco in week 3 and Minnesota in week 3, they were also teams that I picked to win over the next 3 weeks. They all won that week, so a little bit of whatever if you happen to bet that. I don't, so no win, no loss there. Week 4, Arizona was a no pick because they were playing. Who were they playing? Oh, it doesn't come off to mind. Oh, they were playing Carolina. So Arizona and Carolina were week 4 starters. Both of them were no picks. Carolina happened to win that game, so Carolina's out of it. Arizona will be in this week for a stage 2. Baltimore Baltimore pushed, and they were at 2x times, so they're going on to stage 2 with 2x. Buffalo won right away. Carolina we already talked about. Dallas lost, so there'll be a stage 2, 1x. Denver won right away. Indianapolis won right away. Jacksonville lost at 2x, so Jacksonville is 2x this week on the on stage 2. Kansas City won right away. Seattle won right away, and Washington, as we described earlier, started one on week 4. I mean, they were stage 1 also, and they pushed there, so there'll be a stage 2 this week. So that's it for the season to date. I know it's hard to listen to those. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to go over the games very shortly here and what we're betting. Before I do that, I'll start each week. From now on, I won't go over the previous weeks, right? Because, we're going to get a lot of bets out here. But anyways, the teams to start this week, if you want to write them down or just refer back to them. Atlanta is going to start this week as a 2x multiple. In other words, these are teams that will win over the next 3 weeks. Chicago is starting this week. Cleveland is starting this week. Dallas is starting this week, and they're a 2x pick, but one of those two is gonna negate against the Giants later. So Dallas will be a 2x going forward here. Denver is a 1x. Detroit is a 1x. Green Bay is a 1x. Jacksonville is a 1x. Minnesota is a 1x, and the New York Giants is a 1x. They're playing Dallas, like I said, so that'll be canceled out for this week. Philadelphia is a 1x, and San Francisco is a 1x. And then Tennessee didn't play last week. They were also in the fourth game, but they ended up getting that COVID, so we'll see how that wreaks havoc on my schedules, but they'll be starting again. They're going to win a 1x over the next 3 weeks. So that's the teams that I'm starting the martingale this week, so get your pen and paper out, or if you just want to follow along here. Tampa Bay is playing Chicago. Again, Chicago starting this week, but no bets for me. Carolina is playing Atlanta. Atlanta is 1x, but first week, so no picks for me. Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Philadelphia is starting this week, but no picks for me. Now, Cincinnati versus Baltimore. Here's an interesting game. I didn't look up the spread yet, but Baltimore is going to be 2x on the multiple scheme stage 2, so 2 times 512 or $1,024. Jacksonville at Houston. Jacksonville's got the same deal. They're going to be 2 times 512 or $1,024 as a stage 2 martingale. Buffalo at Tennessee. Tennessee is starting this week, but no bets. Arizona versus New York Jets. Now, New York Jets are going to be 1x, $512 this week. Las Vegas at Kansas City, I have no interest. Miami at San Francisco is starting this week. San Francisco is, but no bets. Rams and Washington, as I said, we're playing each other, so they cancel each other on their stage 3. And there are no stage 3s this week, so my first A and B schemes are no picks. So just the martingales this week. But Washington does pick up one martingale, so they're going to be 1x, $512 on the game for Washington. Denver at New England. Denver is starting this week, but no bets. Indianapolis at Cleveland. Cleveland is starting this week, but no bets. Minneapolis at Minnesota at Seattle. Minnesota is 1x this week, no picks. New York Giants at Dallas, which we just talked about, are as far as stage 1 canceling each other out. But stage 2, Dallas has a stage 2. They're going to be 1 bet of 512 for Dallas. And the Chargers in New Orleans are a no pick this week. So that wraps up the games. There's only 15 games. I forget who's not playing this week. But so last week, again, we've only made bets on the martingale. You would have started at 20,000. You would have put out, 1,024 or something. So you were at 18,976 was your low point of the week when you put your money out earlier. Then you got one push back to end up at 19,488. So we lost a little bit of money. That's what we always do in the first couple of weeks. We'll make it up. Don't worry about it. I'm sure of it. This week we're going to go from 19,488 down to 15,904 after we put our bets out. So we'll be just below 16 grand. And we'll see how those picks come out this week. Again, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bets at 512 apiece. Allocated 2 to Baltimore, 2 to Houston, 1 to the Jets, 1 to Washington, and 1 to Dallas. That's it. So good luck, everybody. Welcome back. Like I said, hopefully this season stays intact and I can go off my schedule. Again, I'm a value better, looking for that spread to even out. It'll be a little bit weird this year because we've got home teams, but we don't. So the rule of thumb is always that the home team will be a -3 just based upon being the home team. In other words, a field goal. I mean, really, it's a couple drives is usually what you're looking for noise penalties, and we don't have that noise. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out a little bit. But I'm assuming the odds makers take that into account as they go down the road. They just don't know where it is, so there's maybe a little bit there. Figure out if home teams versus away teams are losing a little bit more that way, or away teams are getting a little bit more. Of course, they're getting points anyway, so we'll see how that works out. But all right, everybody, have a good week, and we'll see you next week.